to get welcomed like that when I come home. It doesn't happen like that. Everyone's asking me for things. Listen, I love the topic of this show. The team actually said, let's do this show. It's inspired by a book. It's Me But Better. And we're digging into becoming the best versions of ourselves. I know you like yourself now. I know. But there's nothing wrong with a little evolution, some things that might make this journey a little better. So it was inspired by a brand new book. It's kind of controversial, but we're digging into it. This is the question. Can you change your entire personality for the better? Yes? The entire personality. Later in the show, we're going to meet the author who did a year-long experiment to find out if she could, in fact, change her personality. The team sent me a test to figure out what my personality type is. We're going to show you my answers. It's a very highly debated test, probably harder than the SAT, but I took it. And we're going to level up the personality game. But first, reality TV, speaking of personality, Keni Silva, known for her many appearances on the Real Housewives of Orange County, says the best version of herself came after a health scare with her child and a divorce that made headlines. At age 38, after 13 years of marriage, she filed for divorce from her husband. Something was missing. She says she wasn't happy. Instead of seeing divorce as a failure, she sees it as a chance to live her best life, which is very controversial, right? I mean, it's hard to look across at someone you've said I love you to and then say, but to be the best version of me, we have to end this. She's encouraging other women to do the same. Her book is called Divorce as an Opportunity. Here she is at the Camp Chaos podcast talking about the power she felt after it was all over. Take a look.
When you're together with somebody, you still have that shoulder to lean on. Mm-hmm. When you're divorced, you're like, wow, like, I'm alone. I don't have a shoulder. It's like, this is me. Do all of this, the power you have inside, it's like, I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody. It's like, okay, I don't even want to go on a date because it's like, it's not worth my time. Like putting lipstick on. And this is the power you get inside when you know you don't
independence.
Independence. It's true.
Beautiful
it
thing.
Wow. Cam Fam. To talk about her new book and a daytime exclusive, please welcome Keni Silva to the show. To the show. I've never seen so many people applaud a divorce. There you go. So you've hit
it definitely looks good.
Well,
so we did the one thing, right?
If this is the result of it, I think you might have a movement on your hand. It is hard to talk about it and smile because we are trained to believe that divorce or breakup means something failed.
Yes.
How did you get past that?
Well, I think I look in life in general that it's either a situation that you have to learn a lesson or it's a situation you're very happy. Obviously, divorce is something you have to go through and see beyond it. It's not the end, it's a rebirth.
It's a rebirth.
And especially, after pandemic, it was when everybody didn't know how it's going to be, if we're going to be locked in forever, or how our lives are going to be. I realized there was something missing from my picture perfect life. I had everything I wanted. I built it. I got to this point, but I was missing myself.
You've been married 13 years?
Yes, I met my ex-husband. I was 23, and with age, people change.
Yeah.
After having children, and I guess in the process of doing all the things it's like I had a wish list and I got it all and I wasn't happy. And this was like admitting to myself I wasn't happy was a scary thing.
Right, because you pointed out in the pandemic is when you came to this big moment in your life that
like,
you wanted.
If this is the end of the world, would I be happy? No. The answer was no. And it was scary for me to break the news to my ex-husband because, one thing in life, I took full responsibility. That was my choice. Right. But having a choice, sometimes it's harder because you're going to hurt your ex-husband, your children,
one of your children even said, can't you wait until I leave college?
Yes.
which is something that you often hear from people. Your daughter said, "Can you wait until I leave college?"
Yes.
To me, that's a gut punch because we know so many people who are counting down the moment until the kid turns 18. That's just real talk. It's not something that we want, but there are people who say the minute the kids are out, I can live for me. Your daughter basically asked you to do that.
My parents did that. And I think I left the house just so they can get divorced. Because I felt responsible for them not wanting, to separate.
So when your daughter came to you and said, "Can you wait until I get out of college?" Take me to the moment where you say, "I can't."
I thought, and I was like, am I being very selfish? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm 38. Every year counts. You're going to forget by the time you are in college,
You're a cold mama. She's like,
Hey,
listen, you'll forget this. You grew up in Russia.
Everything is very strict in my household. I'm like,
You're like,
no.
you'll get over it. But listen, as you put up this exterior, even the cover of your book, I mean, this is business pose, but this is a veneer. At the heart of it, you shared 13 years and children with this person. And to evolve and to become this person you want to be, it required the end of this. What did you tell him?
I said, I want to get divorced. And he didn't believe me at first. Even within 6 months of going through divorce, he's like, well, I think we're figuring out our marriage. I'm like, no, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And it has nothing to do with
How did it feel
you.
physically to release those words?
I actually was so scared. It was just telling, your parents that you failed college or failed school. Because we've been for so long together. And, once it started, then the whole process of divorce, it gets very, ugly, and you say things you don't mean because you're hurting and you don't know where it's going. So that's the thing I teach in my book. A lot of things that's said during divorce is don't take it personally. It's in the moment of hate, people say things because they are so hurt. And
So
they don't
the
know
book
where
is
they're
really
going.
you saying, I'm not advocating for the end of relationships, but if you get there, here's what I learned.
Yes, it's a guide. It's a technical guide how to deal with your emotions. It tells how men and women look at divorce, because men look at it more like a business transaction. Women, put all the emotions, and it's different for us. I talk about communication skills. I talk about prenups.
What's been the reaction?
I mean, everybody loved it. 70% of all divorces are filed by women.
Really?
Yes, but they don't know what to do. Once they're there, they're not financially prepared. They don't know, a lot of women don't even know how to calculate how much money they spend every month.
Right.
And I literally teach them, it's like how to do it.
So in this process of going through the divorce as an opportunity, you experienced a health scare with your daughter, and you saw the lessons you learned in ending the marriage transfer to how you handled her health scare?
Actually, it was after. And I always say, I went through divorce, nothing scares me. And then a year later, my daughter was diagnosed with adrenal tumor. There was 10 centimeters, and the doctor said it's 90% chances her having stage 2
Alexis
cancer.
underwent a 7-hour surgery.
She went 7-hour surgery because it was pushing her kidney, so they didn't know if it was attached. They would have to remove part of it. It was, because it was so large, they had to have so many different specialists, so she wouldn't even die on the table.
So because
during
obviously to
that.
see your child in that situation after going through the divorce, you feel that you were stronger and more prepared.
This is where I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Like, I'm very strong, but this is like hitting me. It's like, I'm not prepared for it. I'm not even prepared. I didn't even know. I didn't even tell my daughter she was sick, what she had. She had to discover. That's how she wrote a song right now, Backseat Driver, because she felt like she was in a backseat driver with the car, not knowing where to go. I couldn't. How can you tell your child that you are sick and maybe you're going to have to, besides the surgery, you might have
And
cancer.
this is her music video.
Yeah,
and she's well now. She's doing
thank
great.
God she's well. And she told me actually after, Mom, I want to know the truth.
You want to know the truth?
Whatever the scariest thing, I want to know the truth, because then I know how to fight for it, and we can fight for it together.
And this is the heart of your book, teaching others how to fight for their truth, whatever it is.
But it showed both of us how life is precious. And now she's like, Mom, I'm so happy you did what you did. You have a full life.
Wow.
Because she also now, she's 16, and she realized life is so precious.
Yeah, it is.
We're not guaranteed tomorrow. The past is the past.
Wow.
And
You've dropped a whole word. You heard the audience there. I'm telling you. Well, I'm happy for you. Congratulations on the book. My love to Alexis.
Thank you so
The book
much.
is Divorce as an Opportunity. Kenny, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you
us today.
so much.
Coming up,
Thank you.
our next guest spent a year trying to change her personality. She documented the experience, what she says we can learn in her brand new book. We'll be right back.